Hi, I'm Mycelium Irwin. My name might sound familiar to you, and that's probably because you've heard of my cousin, Steve Irwin. What Steve was to the wild and dangerous animals of Australia, I am to the fungi kingdom. I'm taking you on quite the adventure. I've travelled all the way to the Pacific Northwest from Australia. I'm headed to the Rock Creek Environmental Studies Centre today at the Portland Community College Rock Creek campus. I've been here before, and by crikey, they sure have some amazing mushroom specimens. We're going to see what we can find today, and I'm going to teach you some mushroom basics. Out in the wild, mushrooms will grow on anything and everything they can. Dirt, decomposing material, and even living trees, insects, and plants. This is going to be a great trip, and I can't wait to share everything I know about fungi. And I must admit, I'm a pretty fun guy myself. Oh, crikey! Would you look at that? I've managed to find some beautiful mushrooms out here in the forest. Come in a little bit closer. Now, right here, we've got a beautiful mushroom. I'm just going to pull it out of the ground here real quick so we can take a nice closer look at the anatomy of this mushroom. Now, starting at the top, we have the cap. The cap tells you a lot about what kind of mushroom you found. This one's got quite a flat cap, but you might find some that have some tall, bell-shaped, or even just curved like a bow. On the bottom of the cap, we have these gills, and this is where the spores live. This is also known as the spore-bearing surface of a mushroom. Now, some mushrooms have gills, and some have sponge-like consistency at the bottom, and spores live in the sponges and are released into the wild through the wind, rain, and anything else that might come along and bother them. Now, if we take a look at this long stem, this is called the stalk of the mushroom. And right here, we've got the ring. Now, when the mushrooms are real small, the bottom of the mushroom down here and the top where the ring is are connected. And as it grows, the flesh splits and often leaves behind these little hanging flesh. Now, down at the bottom, you'll usually get the same thing, and that's called the vulva. Now, at the very bottom here, we have these little roots that are coming off of the mushroom, and this is called the mycelium. Each individual strand is the hyphae, and together they make the cell body known as the mycelium. The organism itself is actually the mycelium, and underneath us right now are probably thousands and thousands of strands of hyphae connected to make mycelium. All of these mushrooms are just the fruiting body. The actual fungi is that mycelium underneath the ground. Isn't that just wild and fascinating? Now, as we look here, we'll see more and more clusters of these mushrooms popping out of the ground. Look at how many there are. Isn't that just amazing? What a beautiful sight to see. Now, what's really fascinating is that all of these mushrooms that you're seeing are probably all connected to the same mycelium. They're all the exact same living organism, just different hundreds probably of different fruiting bodies coming out of the ground. And the sole purpose is to disperse spores and grow the mycelium even bigger than it already is. Let's keep moving and see what else we can find. Be sure to check out my next video and Bee's videos to learn more about mushrooms.